Free Spirit Fabrics here. Welcome. We're very excited that you've joined us today. We are very excited. We have a wonderful guest with us here today, Brandy Maslowski from Quilter on Fire. And she is going to tell us about her podcast this year with Free Spirit Fabrics. We've had a lot to say this year at Free Spirit Fabrics because we've had a lot of new designers join us. Brandy, with her podcast, has talked to a lot of our designers, our new designers, our older or well-established designers, and it's been a very exciting year. Um, the reason for the podcast is because of our Year of the Designer and bringing more of our designers to you, telling you a little bit more about each designer, and Brandy has been able to get into all of that with our designers. So if you have any questions for us, be sure to put them in the comments along the way, and we will do our best to answer them. We will also have a giveaway at the end, so please stay on with us because we're going to be asking a question at the end that you're going to need to answer in order to win the giveaway. If you have any questions about Free Spirit Fabrics at all, even beyond this podcast or beyond this presentation and Brandy's podcasts, be sure to go to freespiritfabrics.com. You can find information about our collections. You can find all kinds of inspiration. You can find all of the projects and promotions and things that we are doing all of the time at freespiritfabrics.com. So please be sure to go there. So I would like to introduce Brandy now to the audience. Hey, Brandy, welcome.
Hi, Sharon. Thanks for having me. It's
Yes,
been, it's been such a great year with Free Spirit, introducing all these wonderful designers. Some of them have been doing it for a long time. Some are brand new, but all around, it's been so much fun.
yes. Well, we have wonderful designers, and we'd love to ask you some questions about your journey this year with
Sure.
with your podcasts and all of the designers that you have interviewed. I know that you've had 10 interviews so far this year.
Yeah.
And how would you describe the journey thus far with this, you know, excursion?
Oh, Sharon, it's been so fun. I mean, it's introduced me and my listeners to people who are designing the fabric that we use in our quilts and projects. So, I mean, I might not have otherwise known about a few of them because they're not all quilters, right? And mostly my
Mhm.
podcast gears around quilters. So it's really fun to kind of have a quilt adjacent designer who's quilting fabric, who's designing fabric for quilters. And a lot of them are internationally renowned quilters as well, but all of their stories have been amazing this year. It's been a lot of fun.
I know. I've listened to several of your podcasts. I've enjoyed them very much. I've learned, it's great to listen because I've learned a lot about our designers that I didn't even know. So it's awesome. You do a great interview. So
Well,
thank you for everything that you've done with that.
thank you.
Um, Do you have any ex unexpected common themes or uh, values that came across through your interviews?
Yeah, I'd say, the thing that stands out the most, every single one of these designers has had a clear story about color. I mean, it's fabric, right? So we're looking at color.
Mhm.
If we think about Estee McLeod, for instance, she's one of these designers who is known for her vibrant, colorful designs, and she's really popular. Like she's got online art courses like Explore Color. I think these designers are experts in the industry, and I've been on her color prompt newsletter for I think a decade. It's been so wonderful. So color is kind of one thing that's been a theme across all of the designers. They're looking at what they see in the world and they're inspired by different things, and color inspires them. So the color palettes have been so unique from designer to designer, but also it's kind of a common theme that it's like one of their strengths, really.
Right. Well, I mean, we're free spirit, right? We got to
Yeah.
have color.
Yeah.
Color and bold design, right? So
Yeah.
we love that. So, how about have you had any, excuse me, any special moments during any of these interviews or anything that, really made an impact on you creatively along the journey?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all about the story, right? So actually, I think I have two. Can I share two? I think I'd start with Valerie Wells.
Mm-hmm.
She was so heartfelt and authentic in her story. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely loved how she talked about overcoming her struggles and how she practices self-care. And it's a bucket list item for me to travel to one of her retreats, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
the other one, I would say, the other really creative moment that leapt off the podcast, like when we were listening, when I was interviewing them, was Jenny and Helen from So Kind of
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. They have this incredible business that's thriving from patterns and rulers and curves and everything. They took this leap into designing fabric, and it was really brave, and it was kind of like a dream of theirs, and obviously it's working out really well. So those are kind of two interviews that really stuck with me because they took a leap, or they were just really raw and unfiltered. So I loved those.
Mm-hmm. I listened to the one that you had done with Val Wells. That was awesome. It was
I
great.
know.
And Helen and Jenny, of course, they're awesome too. So, hey, it's great.
Yeah.
Um, which designer had a particularly surprising backstory or path to fabric design?
Oh, 100% that would be Seth Apter. Like I can't even he went from a chance meeting with an artist in a gallery to having sort of a pen pal back and forth with her with little art pieces. She was inspiring him, and he wasn't even an artist at the time. He was so inspired by this encounter that lasted months and months that he started creating mixed media in a way that you'd never expect. And he went from a full career and practice in psychology into a full-time artist and eventually, of course, a free spirit designer.
Right. Yeah. No, his fabrics are fantastic.
I know, I love them.
I know. Were any of the stories about how a fabric line evolved from an idea to the finished product that stood out? Did anything stand out along the way?
Yes, in the latest podcast episode with Adam Trest,
Hmm.
he saw this wall of tiles when he was in Portugal that really bothered him. Like he was literally sitting there looking at this wall and he's like, these don't jive with each other. Something in my head is bothering me. And the second he got home, he had to redesign those tiles into art in his head and into fabric and even into his latest book. And it was all in white and blue. He was absolutely obsessed, and it turned into this gorgeous fabric line.
Oh, so he had to get it all organized? Is
Yeah,
that what it
he's just like, I can't reconcile this in my head. I have to make it work."
was? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, which interview generated the strongest response from your listeners, and why do you think it resonated?
Oh, wow. They're all so amazing. And I've never pick a favorite, but if you look at the actual numbers, the one that got the most listens, of course, was the iconic Mary Engelbreit. Her
Ah.
whimsical characters,
Hmm.
uplifting messages, they're on everything from greeting cards to home decor, of course, Free Spirit fabrics. But I have to say there was two close seconds, so I want to mention a couple more. There
Hmm.
was Jane Sassman with her bold, painterly botanical designs, and Helen Godden. She does those nature-inspired prints that quilters love to collect, right? So these two are super famous, iconic quilters, worldwide, world known, and people were really listening to those two episodes as well.
Yes. Well, I can see why those were so popular.
Yeah.
Um, what do you hope people will take away from this year of conversations?
For me, it's all about the story. And I think the most common message from all the guests that come on the podcast is just make art. It's like the original art. Like Claire Young's does this paper collage and it translates so well into fabric and those incredible floral paintings of Sue Penn. I have never seen that much color, on one canvas. It's incredible. So, and translating that into fabric, it just works so well for quilting. So I think the common message of the designers across the board was just make art. Like I pull quotes out of the podcasts all the time and I talk to them about their favorite quotes. And almost every single one of the quotes is just make art. And if you're thinking about that from the perspective of fabric, just make quilts.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just make, right?
Yeah. Put your head down and make something.
Oh, you have somebody that just joined you in the background there.
Oh, that's my puppy. Oh, she's snoozing already. Can you see her down there?
Yeah, she just joined. Beautiful. Um, What are you looking forward to for the next three interviews?
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I already have met with Giuseppe and Ebond about our planning calls, so I'm very
Mhm.
excited about those coming up. You have to go look at Juicy Juice on Instagram. He is crazed with miniature foundation paper piecing. His feed is so fun. We're gonna have a really good episode. And then Ebond. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so broke. I was perusing her online shop on her website, and she's not a quilter, but she uses her fabric, like the samples she gets from Free Spirits that she designs. She uses it and makes books and journal covers and makes these really cool stars and things that she sells in her shop. I just want to buy everything. And the last one coming up is Katie PM. I mean, I'm so excited about Katie because this is going to have to be one of those episodes where I don't be weird and I try not to be a fan. I just have to pretend I'm her best friend and we're having this great conversation with a cup of tea because she is a pioneer of the art quilting movement. And I am an art quilter, so I have been a fan for decades, more than a decade. So if you're watching right now and you've never listened to a podcast before, I'm telling you, you have to figure it out before the holidays because this final episode of the year with Katie Pasquini Massapis, it will include the Free Spirit Story Challenge, and it's going to be amazing.
Yes. Do you know the dates of any of those podcasts yet?
Yes, December 23rd is the podcast with Katie,
Okay.
and it's going to be a wonderful episode a couple days before Christmas when you're in the middle of all that planning and everything that's going on with Christmas. You just
Hmm.
have to grab a cup of tea, sit back and listen for an hour. Sometimes they're even 90 minutes, but just take some time for yourself and listen in.
Well, I'm going to ask you an unscripted question.
Sure.
What would you say is the average podcast length? Because I know some of them are. Like I just heard you say that, and I'm wondering. I mean, on average, do they?
In the industry, I would say the average podcast is about 30 minutes. But for me, mine are 60 to 90 minutes because I want to hear the whole story.
Right.
I know that quilters are listening to this while they're quilting, while they're walking or hiking, while they're driving. And the
Mm-hmm.
most common feedback I get is, this is so great. I was able to do two hikes on two different days for one podcast. It really works for quilting too. So it's nice to just stick it in your ears, put your head down, and do the
Mm-hmm.
work,
Hmm.
right?
That's totally when I listen, when I'm in the sewing room and I already have it lined up and I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I don't have to do too much thinking. I can do a whole lot of listening.
Yeah.
So they're awesome. All right, so we have a free spirit story challenge that we would like to share with everybody. So I would like to turn this over to Brandon Johnson, and Brandon is our marketing communications manager. So, hey, Brandon, what can
Hello.
you tell us about this free spirit story challenge that's coming up?
Yeah, so as Brandy mentioned, she wanted to do kind of like a fun challenge to culminate the year and to celebrate what she's doing with Katie on that final episode in December. So we came up with this idea called the My Free Spirit Story Challenge. Um, And essentially, the reflections on the challenge, which I'll get to the details in a second, will be highlighted on this episode with Katie. So, with Katie being such an industry expert, we thought it great for them to talk about this challenge, which really isn't to inspire you or any makers. And hopefully, this podcast inspired you too, to think about some of the experiences you've had with free spirit fabrics that really kind of impacted your sewing journey. So you can think back onto a project, maybe it was years ago that when you first found that one collection or that one designer that just really moved you and changed the way you thought about your whole perspective on creativity or how you create things. Um, and to share that story with us, or maybe it's something that just happened last week. I think as creatives, we're always kind of finding that something new and something special that might have that impact that we didn't quite expect. So we want to hear those stories, and so you don't have to make anything new necessarily, of course. Just think about how the fabric moved you. And we have a whole web page dedicated to the challenge on the Free Spirit website. So you can go, it's freespirit.com freespiritfabrics.com, and it's under Be Inspired. So you can submit your entry there, and it really just requires, it could be images with descriptive text of telling your story, or it could be maybe you want to do a full video showing the project if you have it, or just yourself talking about the story. So we're really excited to see what you all share. We know we've had some amazing designers and collections, and if you need some inspiration to listen to Brandy's podcasts and some of these amazing free spirit designers and how they think about color, or new collections that are coming out too that might inspire you to make something new. And of course, I forgot to mention, a very exciting part is you'll have a chance to win lots of goodies. We've got tons of prize sponsors that, have partnered with Quilter on Fire before and with Free Spirit. So we've got a whole long list on the website of goodies up to like $2,000. So we'll have one grand prize winner, and that will be selected from a panel of judges, which will include Brandy and Katie Pasquini, and also of a member or two from the Free Spirit team. And then we'll have two viewers' choice. So we'd love to share your submissions with the public, and help your stories inspire others, and people can vote on yours as well. So I think that covers everything. The deadline to submit is November 10th, so keep that in mind coming up next month. So we can't wait to hear your stories and chat about them on the or for Brandy to chat about them with Katie at the end of your podcast. Oh, one thing, sorry. I wanted to ask Brandy to share her story because she's got an amazing story. This will kind of give you an example of something that might trigger a memory. But if you want to share with us, Brandy, your free spirit story.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're entering this contest, remember, it's all about the story. So we don't want you to just describe what you made or tell us how you put it together. We want you to share a story. So here's a little story about me being inspired by a Free Spirit Fabrics designer. When I was a lot younger, just starting out quilting, I was really much an artsy fartsy crafter, and I really didn't make very many quilts yet. So I came across a collection of these little colorful fabric samples at a garage sale. And it was like from some fabric person, like it was one of those cards that had different sizes of fabric on it that you had to pull apart if you wanted to use it. Probably shouldn't have been for sale, but anyway, I bought it, and there were 8 or 10 different designs. And I went to my local quilt guild and I was laying them on the table, and they were gorgeous. They were pinks and oranges and reds and blues. And I was thinking I'll put together a little baby quilt, and they were all odd sizes. So I was trying to figure out on the table how to put them together. And a member of the guild came up to me and said, "Oh, are you putting those together? I mean, like red with pink?" And I'm not sure that orange is going to work either. Like, I don't know if that works together. And I thought, this is a line of fabric. This is a collection. Of course, it has to go together. But anyway, I tucked it aside. I was kind of embarrassed. I put it away and I didn't make that project. And then a while later, I came across this book, and it was a Kay Facet book. And I had no idea about color. And the book was called Glorious Patchwork. And when I opened those pages, I got permission to explore color in any way that I wanted, because looking at his quilts, looking at his fabric, looking at the things in those pages just made me realize it's my choice. If
Mhm,
something sings to me, I can just do it.
mhm.
And if you think ahead to today, who would have ever guessed that one day I'd be visiting with Kaif and Brandon in their home just 1 month after interviewing all four of them for Free Spirit Fabrics on the Quilter on Fire podcast. I interviewed the entire Kaif Facet Collective, and I couldn't help myself when I was interviewing Brandon and Kaif. I said, "I'm coming to the Festival of Quilts. I need to come over for tea." And if you don't say it out loud, it will never happen. And it
Oh,
happened. So that was absolutely a dream come true.
wow, that's a wonderful story. I love to hear that. I actually just saw Kate's lecture last night. So he's so inspiring. So that's like a thrilling story to hear you share that it was a free spirit designer that got you
Yeah,
back going to it, right? That's great.
absolutely. I
I
was,
love that. I
yeah.
love that. So, well, I love this challenge. I think this challenge is a great idea. I hope that everybody, that's listening today wants to participate because there's always something. I mean, every quilt has a story, and there's always a story behind what inspired you to make whatever it is. And if it has to do with free spirit, we would love to hear about it. So please, as Brandon and Brandy just shared with us, get involved in this and submit your entries or videos or however you're going to present by November 10th. And the last question that we have for today, because we do have that giveaway, we are going to be giving away an Adam Trust Backyard Wonder. It's going to be a fat quarter stack. And we would like to know what you would like to ask Brandy or one of our designers if you ever had the chance. So if you could talk to Brandy, which you will be able to over answer your questions in here, or if it was a free spirit designer, tell us what your question would be, and we will pick one lucky winner who will get this Adam Trust fabric. So we hope that you're all sending us hearts and thumbs up and entering your questions so that we can get back to you. And we hope that you enjoyed visiting with us today. Brandy, we're so happy that you joined us today. And
Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. It's been super fun.
yes, and if you haven't listened to any of Brandy's podcasts, I suggest that you do. If you've only listened to a few, I suggest you go back and listen to more. And she has many more coming. And Brandon, we thank you for telling us all about the challenge. And until next week, we will have another Inspired by next week. Until then, have a wonderful week and keep on creating.